What would be most useful for you today?
I guess talking about necessary versus sufficient, like digging into that, maybe do some complex stuff in there because I'm just a little like yesterday I was having trouble dealing with something like if A travels to X, then B travels to Z. Like if I travel to Spain, then you travel to France. And I didn't understand the contrapositive, whereas if you don't travel to France, that means I didn't travel to Spain. And my brain wasn't really getting that yesterday, but it like sunk in overnight. So now it kind of processes. So I think with this like necessary versus sufficient stuff, I'm kind of not understanding the difference. I guess like I've watched a few lessons on it and seen it mapped out, but I still don't quite know the difference. I still don't know what a question stem is. And I also have a question down here for you. Like, do you have an approach or tactic for dealing with burnout?
Yeah, sure. We could tackle all of those questions. They're very common questions. So I'll just deal with them in the order you presented them. Necessary versus sufficient conditions. Those are both parts of conditional statements. I think of the sufficient as being enough to guarantee something else, or that it enables or unlocks a possibility. Like if you have $1 million, that's sufficient to allow you to do many, many different things. If you have $1 million, you could buy a boat, you could buy a house. But having a house or a boat doesn't mean that you necessarily had $1 million, because perhaps you could buy those things for less. So $1 million would be sufficient to buy many, many things, including a candy bar. But getting a candy bar, if we see you with a candy bar, does that mean you had $1 million? Not necessarily. So the sufficient allows possibilities, and it guarantees that certain things will happen. Nothing more.
Okay.
On the other hand, what's necessary is what is required, what you need to have. So having something that's required will not necessarily require other things as well, but we know it was required by something else. I think overall, looking at simply those lists of words that let you identify one condition versus another and just committing those to memory would do a lot to help you interpret the difficult language on the LSAT.
Is that a vocab list that you have?
Yeah, I have lists, and I can send you lists of them too.
I think I saw the vocab list. I've just been starting to dig into your stuff. I had a just so. Oh, another question I had was maybe you could take me through like how to approach your material, like from like early on. I'm just like I haven't really dug into it yet, so like a good place to start and where to go from there. Maybe.
Sure. So you got my study plan, right?
A 3-month study plan, yes.
Perfect. So that's your roadmap. That shows you exactly what to be doing every single day over the course of your prep.
So like on day 1, it says do like this lesson or this. It was like number 57 or something. Where do I find that?
I'll send you a link to the course. There's an outline listing all the course video lessons numbered. And so basically watch this numbered lesson video, then complete practice problems of this type out of the exams.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically watch video, complete problems. Watch video, complete problems.
How many, on that 3-month plan, how many hours per day am I spending?
I think of it more on a week basis. It's an average of 10 to 15 hours per week. So maybe 2 to 3 hours a day, assuming you're studying for 5 days.
Okay.
Now, with regard to the question stem, the question stem is that short partial sentence appearing after the paragraph in logical reasoning. So you have the stimulus, which is the paragraph containing an argument or a fact set. It's followed by something like saying, the argument proceeds by doing which one of the following, or the argument requires or assumes which one of the following, or if which one of the following, if true, would most strengthen the argument. So when they're asking you to do something to the argument or identify something about the argument, that's the question stem.
Okay. I think I'm not there yet. I think I've just been doing analytical reasoning stuff, and I haven't really gotten to that yet.
Yeah, sure. Well, when it comes up, at least you'll now know what the question statement is referring to.
Okay, cool.
Now, you were asking about burnout.
Yeah.
What's your situation like right now? Do you think you're potentially at risk of burnout?
Oh, I just like I study, like I'll read something. So I got I got double time on the test because I have ADD and I don't take amphetamines. So maybe it's the ADD, maybe it's normal, I don't know. But I read for like, anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, and then I start to like gloss over the stuff and not really soak in what I'm reading. And then after, I could go on like that for 5 minutes if I catch myself, an hour if I don't, and then I just pass out on my couch here, and then I wake up and I go back to it. So sometimes I've been like trying to go back to where I started zoning out, but maybe I need to like rest more. I don't know. Do you have any just like general approach or tactic to dealing with it? Is that burnout? I don't know.
I think of burnout differently. I think of burnout as when someone has studied way too much. Like a lot of times people who are able to study for the LSAT full time and have no other obligations, or they'll just study for 6 hours at a stretch. Like that is probably too much. Like you need to take breaks, and slow and steady wins the race with the LSAT because it's too much. You can't cram it. And so if someone is just studying way too many hours per week or per day without enough breaks, they're at risk of burnout, where basically after that point, because they have overdone it, they can no longer focus. And as a result, they don't do well and they don't get anything out of their studying anymore. And so the solution is to take breaks. In your situation, though, I think it may be due more to simply ADHD or ADD. And as a result, maybe you've got to take more frequent breaks. Maybe a little bit of focus training could be useful. I know you said that you're getting double time, which is an enormous asset, but that still may not help with the focus.
Yeah. Yeah, I did one practice test with the double time and I still did not get through the analytical reasoning section. But I was taking my time. I'm going to take another practice test this weekend, see how I do.
Yeah, well, once you familiarize yourself with the games more and just learn the basics of games, your performance will naturally improve significantly on games.
Okay.
So that could solve that. As for the focus, I would recommend some kind of focus training or mindfulness meditation. And if you are open to considering medication for the ADHD in combination with double time, that might improve your performance significantly.
Yeah.
So it's something
to with AA, so like it's getting it might be a lot, but I did used to take it, so I don't know.
You might consider if you may not want to take it for a variety of reasons, of course, but if you considered it just for the short term to see what it could do for your LSAT performance, it might have a massive benefit.
Yeah. I remember on the SATs, it had a big benefit, and I didn't need the extra time because of it.
Right.
That's kind of all my questions. I haven't really dug into your material enough to like have more questions. Do you have any suggestions, basically? I don't know. Like general suggestions?
The course covers all the fundamentals of the LSAT. And so some of your questions, I think, will even be answered just as you dig into the material.
Okay.
But once you dig in, following the study plan, covering the basics, if you have any questions along the way, of course, please feel free to reach out. Come to the classes. They're for you. And I customize them according to the needs of the students in the group. And if you ever can't make one, just submit your questions in advance, and I'll do my best to cover them during the class.
Okay, cool.
Great connecting with you, Alex. Please keep in touch and let me know if you need anything at all as you move forward.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Will do.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.